A 74-year-old man collapsed in his bathroom. No stroke, no heart attack. His heart was beating, but his blood wasn't moving. All because of something he thought was harmless. Something he'd done for 50 years. Masturbation. But not just the act itself. It was how he did it. The habits no one ever warned him about. I'm Dr. Mojit Kara, a men's health specialist with over 60 years of clinical experience, helping older men protect their circulation, restore confidence, and reignite intimacy without pills, shame, or risky procedures. I've treated retired Marines, former CEOs, grandfathers, and humble family men. And in every case, one thing kept showing up again and again. They had no idea that 4 common masturbation habits, once harmless in their 30s, had now become silent saboteurs after 62. Why? Because the older male body responds differently. Veins weaken. Nitric oxide declines. And what once felt normal may now be quietly causing damage every time you think you're just relieving stress. In this video, I'm going to expose the 4 masturbation mistakes that slowly block circulation, damage intimacy, and accelerate aging in the male body after 62, along with simple changes that can reignite your vitality and bring back the connection you thought was gone forever. And be sure to stay until the end. Because the 4th mistake is something 9 out of 10 older men do automatically. And it may be the reason your blood flow is failing in the most important area of your body. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip that protects your circulation, your confidence, and your intimacy after 62. If this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. If not, type 0. I'm always listening and looking to serve you better. Let's start with the most common mistake, one that seems harmless but quietly puts dangerous pressure on your blood vessels every single time. Mistake 1. Rushing the act, triggering vascular panic. I've sat across from dozens of men, strong men, who look me in the eye and say, "Doc, I just wanted a little release, something quick to take the edge off." They speak honestly, sometimes even with a little guilt. But what they don't realize is that this small habit, this quiet routine they've repeated for years, may be silently sabotaging their most vital systems. When a man over 62 rushes through masturbation, he's unknowingly triggering what I call vascular panic. Your heart rate spikes, blood vessels in the pelvic region constrict and dilate rapidly. But here's the problem. With age, your circulatory system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. The elasticity in your arteries is reduced. Your nitric oxide levels, which help open blood vessels, have declined. And the result? Sudden forced surges of blood flow can overwhelm weakened veins and fragile capillaries, especially in the penis. It's not about morality or shame. It's about physiology. You may not feel it right away, but over time, this rushed stimulation slowly erodes blood vessel function. It causes micro-traumas. It leads to stiffness, where there should be flexibility, and fragility, where there used to be strength. The result isn't just physical. Men begin to notice a decline in sensitivity, slower erections, less warmth and response during real intimacy, and a quiet fear sets in. What's happening to me? They blame age. They blame stress. But the truth is, their body is simply reacting to chronic overexertion in a region that desperately needs care, not chaos. Rushed masturbation sends the wrong signals. It tells your nervous system to sprint when it should be stretching. And that stress response tightens blood flow, suppresses arousal hormones, and chips away at the very foundation of physical intimacy. Trust in your own body. I always tell my patients this. How you treat your body in private echoes into how you feel in public, how you connect with others, how you sleep, think, and love. Intimacy isn't just about climax. It's about circulation, presence, and connection. And when you rob your body of a gentle process, You rob yourself of the vitality that makes you feel like a man. Now, here's where it gets even more surprising. Many men who slow down still unknowingly make the next mistake. One that affects your blood flow without you even realizing it. Let me show you what it is. Mistake 2. Masturbating with high pelvic tension, ignoring breathing. There's something subtle I've noticed in nearly every man over 60 who comes into my clinic with concerns about intimacy, circulation, or energy. It's not just what they're doing, it's how they're doing it. During private moments, most of them unconsciously hold their breath. Their shoulders rise, their abdomen tightens, their entire pelvic floor, those deep hidden muscles around the base of the penis, locks up like a clenched fist. They think it's normal. It's not. This unconscious tension, this breathless, forceful habit during masturbation might seem harmless, but it chokes off blood flow. It signals your nervous system to brace, not release. Instead of allowing your vessels to open and oxygen to flood your tissues, it creates a tight, restricted environment where circulation gets strangled at its source. Over time, that tension builds into habit, and the habit builds into dysfunction. When you stop breathing, you stop flowing. That's not just a metaphor, it's physiology. The penis is one of the most blood-sensitive organs in the entire body. It depends on smooth, relaxed blood movement, not pressure, not tension, not a stressed-out nervous system. But when your breath is shallow and your body tightens, your arteries constrict, your nitric oxide levels plummet, and instead of promoting life-giving circulation, you quietly suffocate the very intimacy you're seeking. I've had men look at me stunned when I ask them, "Were you holding your breath?" They nod because no one ever told them how breathing affects their arousal. No one ever explained that pelvic relaxation and deep rhythmic breath are as essential to a healthy erection as testosterone itself. The older your body gets, the more it needs cooperation, not control. Tension in the wrong places leads to long-term weakness in the places you care about most. The truth is, if you're breathing shallowly, clenching your body, and rushing to finish, you're not just cutting off sensation. You're training your body to treat pleasure like a threat. That tension creates a subtle war inside your circulation, and eventually, your confidence pays the price. But even if you start breathing again, there's another habit that drains your strength in a different way, quietly stealing your drive day by day, even when everything else seems normal. And it starts with how often you're doing it. Mistake 3. Daily masturbation without recovery, draining your libido reservoir. It's a quiet habit, a routine that starts innocently, maybe out of boredom, maybe out of loneliness, or maybe just to feel something again. For many older men, daily masturbation becomes a ritual, a way to mark the time, to relieve stress, to feel normal. But what most don't realize is that after 62, this daily rhythm doesn't just exhaust your energy. It slowly depletes the very system your intimacy depends on. Your body isn't 30 anymore. Your recovery time is longer. Your testosterone rebounds slower. The blood vessels that once bounced back quickly now need time, oxygen, and space to repair. When you masturbate every single day, or worse, multiple times a day, you're not giving your body a break. You're draining your reservoir of nitric oxide, dopamine, and even emotional desire. And the symptoms? They creep in quietly. You might notice you don't feel as much afterward. There's a lingering numbness in your pelvic region. Erections aren't as responsive. You feel more tired, more detached, even a little disconnected from yourself. You may even feel a subtle resentment toward your own body, as if it's betraying you. But it's not. It's simply asking for rest. One man in his late 60s once told me, "Doc, I just don't feel interested in real intimacy anymore. I do it every day, but I feel nothing afterward." That broke my heart because his body wasn't broken. It was overworked. When you overstimulate without allowing time to recharge, you're not just dulling sensation. You're weakening the very circuits that generate arousal in the first place. And when those circuits burn out, circulation slows, veins weaken, connection fades. Masturbation should be a moment of connection, not a coping mechanism for emotional exhaustion. If it becomes compulsive or mechanical, it turns into a quiet thief, robbing you of the natural drive, warmth, and intimacy your body was meant to experience, even in your later years. But here's the surprising part. Even if you space things out and allow recovery, there's one habit that continues to hijack your nervous system, and it's not physical at all. In fact, it starts in your brain. It might be the single biggest reason so many older men today feel disconnected from real intimacy. Let's talk about that next. If you're still here and these insights are resonating with you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me, because what comes next in point number 4 could change the way you think about your health and intimacy moving forward. Mistake 4. Using porn that hijacks the brain, starving real intimacy. I'll be honest, this is the hardest conversation for most older men to have. Not because of shame, but because of the deep loneliness it uncovers. Many of the men I counsel aren't using pornography for excitement anymore. They're using it to fill a void, to chase a feeling that once came naturally. But over time, that chase becomes a trap. And by the time they realize it, the damage is already quietly spreading beneath the surface. Modern pornography isn't what it was 50 years ago. It's fast. It's extreme. It's designed to overstimulate your brain in a way real life simply can't compete with. And what that does, especially in a man over 62, is it rewires the pleasure center of the brain. Your dopamine receptors become desensitized. Your arousal patterns shift toward fantasy, not reality. And slowly, without realizing it, your body stops responding to real touch, real closeness, real intimacy. I've had men sit in my office, tears in their eyes, saying, "Doc, I don't feel anything when I'm with my wife anymore. I feel broken." But they're not broken. They're conditioned. And that conditioning is disrupting one of the most important processes in the male body: circulation. Here's how. The brain is the command center for blood flow. When you constantly flood it with artificial arousal, you short-circuit the natural cascade of signals that trigger real-world blood movement. You confuse your nervous system. You shrink your emotional capacity. And before long, blood flow to the pelvic region weakens, erections become unreliable, and intimacy feels more like a chore than a gift. The more you rely on porn, the more your body forgets how to respond to the human experience of closeness. And after 62, when every vessel and every signal counts more than ever, this detachment can be devastating. Not just to your physical health, but to your sense of identity as a man. This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness. Your brain and your body want to feel again. But first, you have to take back control. You have to reset those patterns. You have to reconnect with the kind of stimulation that restores, not robs, your circulation, your confidence, and your connection. And that starts with one decision. You must change today. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to reclaim what you've lost. You must change today. I've seen it too many times. Good men, strong men who waited just a little too long. They knew something felt off. They felt their energy slipping, their connection fading, their drive disappearing. But they told themselves, "I'll fix it later." And later never came. Let me be clear. If you're over 62 and any part of what I've said so far feels familiar, you must change today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Change doesn't have to be drastic. It doesn't mean denying yourself pleasure or cutting off what makes you feel alive. It means shifting how you approach it. It means working with your body, not against it. And the good news? Your body can respond faster than you think when you give it the right conditions. Conclusion: your health, your intimacy, your choice. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as someone who genuinely cares about how you feel, how you live, and how you love. Because what we've talked about today isn't just about masturbation. It's about circulation. It's about the quiet choices we make behind closed doors that slowly shape our health, our confidence, and our connection to the people we care about. I know these conversations can feel uncomfortable. Most men have gone their entire lives without ever hearing a doctor say these things out loud. But silence has done enough damage. The truth is, the 4 masturbation mistakes we've covered today are not just habits. They're hidden patterns that quietly chip away at your vitality after 62. Rushing the act, holding your breath, repeating it daily without recovery, relying on artificial stimulation that replaces real intimacy. These choices don't just affect your body. They affect your spirit, your relationships, your sense of self-worth. But here's what I want you to remember. Every one of these habits can be unlearned. Your blood flow can improve. Your energy can return. Your sense of intimacy, real, meaningful intimacy, can come alive again. And it starts with small, conscious shifts. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Give your body rest. Choose connection over compulsion. These are not just medical suggestions. They're lifelines. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s reclaim what they thought was lost forever just by making these changes. You're not too old to heal. You're not too late to feel again. And you're certainly not alone. There are thousands of men just like you. Men who thought they had to quietly accept decline, who now know better and who live better because of it. This is your body, your life, your story, and you get to decide how the next chapter is written. Will it be more of the same, or will it be the beginning of something better? The choice is yours. And if no one else has told you today, let me be the first. You still have time, strength, and purpose, and you are worth taking care of. If this message spoke to you, don't let it fade away. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell, because I'll be sharing more life-saving tips just for men like you. Real talk, real solutions. And if you're ready to take back control of your health and intimacy, drop a "still standing strong" in the comments. Let me know you're with me. You're not alone. And the journey to feeling like yourself again starts right here. Stay tuned, stay strong, and most of all, stay curious. Because the next video might just be the one that changes everything.